Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I got Grand Champ in twos and how I think you can too. There are 10 key steps to follow that will guarantee you hit Grand Champ in twos. Number one is know the hitbox of your car. What I mean by this is, can you flick consistently? Can you get powerful hits? Can you get soft hits when needed? And do you feel comfortable in that car? Use the car you're most comfortable with. Don't feel pressured into starting the Octane or the Dominus. I myself use the Skyline to get to Grand Champ. I believe you could even get the Scarab to Grand Champ if that's your car. Step 2 is a follow-up to number 1, and that is consistent powerful shots. Can you consistently hit powerful shots and place them where you want them to, whether that's top left corner, top right corner, bottom right, but they need to be fast shots and you need to be consistent at them. I'm going to play some clips on the screen now to show you some examples, and you should hit these 90% of the time. Number 3 is play free play. Play it a ton. Not only will this help you with steps 1 and step 2, but it will also warm you up before your grind. Never go into competitive without playing at least 15 minutes of free play. While on free play, try to work on one skill. For me, it was flip resets, but for you, it could be flicks, dribbling, air dribbles. Just pick one thing to get really good at so that you're confident you can bring it into a ranked match and hit it 90% of the time. Step number 4 is watch a professional player. Whether that's on YouTube or Twitch, follow someone who plays your game mode, so twos or threes, and it helps if they use your car. So that way you can visualize the hitbox and how they rotate their car to hit the ball correctly. For me, I watched a lot of Jesse, even though he used the Octane. So sometimes I'd watch Sizz and I'd get a better feel of how he hits harder shots with the Skyline. This will also help with teaching you how to position correctly as they make decisions on the fly in high ranked gameplay, and it will teach you when they're going for the ball, what risks they're taking. You can even see the mistakes they make, and you can take that knowledge and try to replicate it in your matches. Position correctly. What I mean by this is you have to know where your teammate is at all times and where the enemies are. You have to know when to bump, when to stay back and play safe, when to not full rotate, rather keep offensive pressure, and when to pass. The number one complaint I hear people make is how bad their teammates are, but in reality, they're probably positioning in a way that puts their teammate in a 2v1, whether that's you're committing too early to challenges, or you're not rotating back properly, or you're cutting off rotation. There are a lot of factors that can go into this, but you really need to play around your teammate, and your teammate is never the factor that you're going to lose the game, because you can always change your gameplay to fit your teammate's play. The next step is to trust and respect your teammate and the enemies. What I mean by this is trust that your teammate has the save. Don't double commit with your teammate. If he's positioned in a way that will be good to clear or an easy save, trust that he has the save. This is also the same on offense. If there's an aerial play or a backboard bounce, if he is positioned better for the shot, let him go for it and you stay back on the ground. Double commits will be the death of you in twos if you don't trust your teammate. I'd like to add that even if your teammate misses or has a bad touch, if you're on the ground, you can recover the play. Whether that's you're going to shadow play defense and wait for him to rotate back, or immediately follow up after he misses, but never double commit. On the same note of respect, you need to expect that the enemies will always make the save, will always take the shot, will always go for the aerial. If you expect that they're perfect players, you can position correctly around them. That means not to go for an aerial if they're closer to the ball because they'll beat you to it. This also means you won't go for an aerial if they're defending on the back wall because you'll know they'll clear it. And this means they're always going to boom the ball into your net. So position properly when they're on offense. The next step is the most important step for twos, and that is knowing when to challenge and how to challenge. The best equation for this is to have one player always make the enemy make a move, then the other person can save the shot. What I mean by this is if they're dribbling the ball towards you, have one person try to get the ball off of them. They may flick it, they may fake it, but then immediately the other guy will see this and can react and get an easy save or clear. So there should always be one player committing to blocking and then the other player committing to reacting after that failed block or successful block. So always have an I formation with you and your teammate. If you're ever stuck on a one-on-one situation and your teammate isn't near you, it's usually best to shadow defense or fake challenge to force a flick or a play that you can still turn and react to. Because you always want to buy time for your teammate to get back and help you. A small tip for challenging is that you don't always need to jump or flip to get a good challenge. Because if you jump and if you flip and they flick it over you, it takes way longer for you to rotate back and help your teammate than if you were to just drive at them, pretend you were going to jump. Rather, you turn and they flick it over you still, but you have time to rotate back behind your teammate. This is also true on offense. When you know you're going to get a 50, say in their corner or in front of their net, it's usually better to just avoid that 50 altogether and play defensively around it, unless you know your teammate is there to quickly react to it. The next step is to make every play count. What I mean by this is the enemies should have to earn the ball from you. Do not give them the ball. If you have space, always dribble. If you beat one guy with the ball, say a flick, or you dribble over him, try to at least get a 50-50 with the second one. They should be working as hard as possible to get the ball away from you. What I see too often is people just booming the ball away from their corner or their back wall for no reason when the enemies are just waiting below and you're just passing the ball to them. Whereas instead, you should be controlling it a lot more and trying to always beat at least one of their players on offense. The next step is predicting where the ball is going to go. The best way you can do this is to look at the opponent's car before they hit the ball. Do they have a high trajectory that they're going to hit the ball far, or are they at an awkward angle and you know when they hit it in the aerial that the ball will drop straight down? You can predict and see where they're going to hit the ball based on their car's position and speed, and you should be able to capitalize on this. This is the same for your teammate too. You should know just by the angle and speed of their car how they're going to hit it. Are they going to place it off the backboard to you? Are they passing it directly to you? Are they going to 50 it? These should all be things that you're trying to predict and position around. The last step is also super important, and that is to conserve your boost. Be efficient with your boost. Don't always full rotate just for the 100 boost. Too many times I see people full rotate and give up offensive pressure just to get a 100 boost and then be left in a 2v1 after their teammate did a play way far away from them. It's much better to stay in the vicinity of your teammate and just grab the little pads on the ground just so you have 30 or 40 boost. That's plenty to react to most plays. People usually see not having any boost as a defensive issue, but it's actually an offensive issue because you're losing so much pressure and so many opportunities to take shots because you're full rotating that it's not even worth it. I always aim to run over the little boost pads in every path I take just so I'm constantly collecting those so I have enough boost to stay in the play with my teammate. I'll also add that you shouldn't be going for aerials if you have 20 boost, and you shouldn't be burning your boost if you're supersonic already. A couple final tips. I'd say to make sure you have good camera settings. It's a really good idea to copy another pro's or to find something you're comfortable with that gives you enough peripheral vision to see what's going on the map. You always want to be able to see your teammate, see the play, see the enemies, so a good camera is super important. And my last piece of advice is to not tilt. If you're feeling angry or you're tilting, take a break, come back later. If you're on a loss streak, take a break, come back later. Rocket League is such a mental game, especially with the high ranks. If you're not in a good mindset to clearly think through plays and use big brain moves, then you should take a break. That is it for my list of steps to hit Grand Champ in twos, and I guarantee if you follow these truly, you will hit Grand Champ yourself.